What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of lukegtv, and I am your host, Luke G. Today, you guys, we're going to be talking about Kratom, what it is, and how it can be used for good, how it can be troublesome, and my journey of switching from Methadone to suboxone using Kratom. So first off, guys, if you could, smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new, and hit the notification bell for all so you can see all of my dope content. Also, you guys, I do have some merch dropped.
What's up, you guys? It's Luke from lukegtv. We got that fire ass merch for your mind, for your soul. We got stickers, we got hoodies.
I'm trying to get some good graphics for my t-shirts and my hoodies, so thanks, guys. And also, you guys, we have a $4.99 membership program, and what do you get from that? Well, you get a custom badge, you get cool emojis. Also, something of value I'd like to give you guys to help support my creative process, because I could just ask, hey, give me money on Cash App, hey, send me some money on Venmo, but I want to offer you guys something of value. We have a community, it's getting strong, and I just want to shout out to all my members for helping me support the channel. It really it feels good, and it extremely helps you guys. So anyways, let's get into how I started using Kratom. I remember around 2013, I was in treatment for getting off of opioids. When I was in this treatment center, I eventually went to a halfway house. Obviously, when you're in a treatment center, you get drug tested and can't use explicit opiates. You can't use pills, you can't use street drugs, you can't use any of that stuff. At the time, I wasn't ready to quit using, but there was this new thing called Kratom that came out, and I believe the first type of Kratom I tried, it was like this little bottle. It was a gold extract. I think they still have them today. I forget the exact brand, but anyways, the thing was about $4.99. It was like $5. I downed it, and now take in mind, I had not used opiates for roughly 6 to 7 months at the time. Man, I took this Kratom and it put me to the floor, man. I mean, it felt like I, did some kind of, not too hard of an opiate, but it definitely felt like I took a couple, perks or oxys or something like that. That's where the trouble started, you guys, because for me, as an opioid addict, Kratom just tickled those opioid receptors just enough to get me to want to use the real thing. You guys, what Kratom is, it is Mitragana speciosa. And Kratom actually comes from a tree. Now, Kratom itself is not an opioid, but it does hit on your mu opioid receptors, which are morphine receptors that are in your brain. All humans have them. This stuff, you guys, it's kind of marketed as it's natural, it's not bad. And I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world. There are definitely a lot of people that can use it safely, but because it binds to the opioid receptors, you guys, it is highly addictive, and there are withdrawals. The withdrawals can be, not as brutal as like an illicit substance, but the withdrawals can be pretty decently bad. So for me, this also happened many other times in my recovery, where I had been clean for a period of time. I used Kratom again. Same thing happened down in Florida. They actually have things called kava bars. And what a kava bar is, it's basically just like a bar that serves alcohol, except for alcohol, they serve these drinks with an herb called kava. And I would compare kava to kind of like an herbal benzo, and Kratom is like an herbal opiate. Basically, you'd have a big, pineapple dish, and it would be in kind of like a, subtropical styled bar. And you get your little pineapple cup, and they'd actually put a real pineapple in there, and they'd have Kratom and kava mixed together. And when you drink those two together, boy, does that stuff puts you to the floor. My whole contention is, you guys, if you are an opiate addict and you have been off opiates for a long time, I highly suggest you do not do Kratom because it is very addictive. It basically tickles your opioid receptors, and for me, it made me just want more. So, years down the road, I would try Kratom to help myself get off other illicit opioids. I will say, if you are like an extreme addict and let's say you're at $100 a day illicit opioid habit, Kratom is not going to even help your withdrawals, because when your opioid receptors have been flooded that long with a strong opioid, such as heroin, fentanyl, etc., your opioid receptors are just too strung out to be able to even be like efficiently affected by Kratom. So if you're in that stage of your opioid addiction, it's not going to do much. But there is one thing Kratom did help me with, and that's where this story is gonna go. This summer, you guys, I was on a substance called Methadone. Now, Methadone is a long-acting opioid primarily used to help recovering opioid addicts get off their drug of choice. And that is what I was on. So when you're on Methadone, in the beginning, you have to go to the clinic every day. They don't give you a prescription for it. You have to go there on a daily basis. When I moved away, I had to drive an hour back and forth to the Methadone clinic every single day. And that just became too much. And I said, you know what? There was one day where I had some kind of disagreement with the Methadone clinic I was at. And I was like, you know what? I cannot do this anymore. I can't do it. So I started rapidly tapering off my Methadone. And you guys, I highly suggest you do not rapidly taper off Methadone unless you really have to. Go down on a slow pace, 5 milligrams a week or less. That's my suggestion. So anyways, you guys, I was on 90 milligrams of Methadone and I started going down 10 milligrams a week. By the time I got down to around 60 milligrams, I really started feeling the withdrawal symptoms. But in order to switch from Methadone to suboxone, it was advised to me that I get down to at least 30 milligrams or less. So I kept tapering and eventually I get down to 27 milligrams of Methadone. In order to switch from Methadone to suboxone, you have to have all the Methadone out of your system, or else you're gonna experience a phenomenon called precipitated withdrawals. It's a very finicky process, and why it is because the doctors say, oh yeah, just stop taking Methadone for 72 hours, 96 hours, you'll be fine. Well, it's not that simple. So basically what I did, you guys, is I slowly got off my Methadone and I switched to Kratom. When I was taking Kratom, you gotta realize my opioid receptors were pretty used up. I had a high tolerance. I was having to use about 7 grams of Kratom every day. And the best way I found to make Kratom is we have a NutriBullet. Either you can make a smoothie or you can make a milkshake. I was making milkshakes at the time, but probably a healthier alternative. Just get some yogurt, get some fruit, get some orange juice, bananas, whatever you got to get, and then just blend the Kratom right in and then drink it. Because you cannot mix Kratom in water. It is not water soluble. It floats to the top, and it's a really gross taste, you guys. It is disgusting. It literally tastes like dirt. So anyways, you guys, day 1 off the Methadone, I drink the Kratom and I'm like, wow, okay, this is actually helping pretty well. But take in mind, Methadone has a very long half-life, so the true withdrawal symptoms really don't start to kick in until about day 4, day 5, something like that. So I got down to 27 milligrams, and the next day I took nothing, except I got some Kratom later that day. I took 7 grams of Kratom, and I actually gotta say, I felt really good. Since I had got down to such a low dose on the Methadone, I was able to feel the Kratom, and I felt euphoria, I felt energy, and I felt reasonably good the first day. The second day, I woke up, I made my little shake, I did another 7 grams of Kratom. I started feeling a little more sick that day, but the Kratom still relatively held me well. Day 3, I'm starting to feel more and more sick. The Kratom is helping less and less. But nonetheless, I'm still able to sleep, I'm still able to function. It wasn't too bad, honestly, I'm gonna say. Now, day 4, I took the Kratom once again, and now at this point I'm starting to think, okay, when am I gonna make this jump from Kratom to suboxone? Because in the back of my mind, I was worried about getting precipitated withdrawals from the Kratom. However, I looked up a bunch of different Reddit threads on Kratom and precipitated withdrawals, and about 99% of the information I found said that Kratom does not cause precipitated withdrawals. However, I was still a little kind of weary about it because, you know, I don't know, everybody's body reacts differently. So day 5, I'm starting to really get sweaty. I'm really starting to feel it. The Kratom still helps. I'm still sleeping, but I'm just getting body aches and just not feeling good, But I would say the Kratom, it helped me out enough to where I was actually able to still function. I was still able to do stuff. But, you know, obviously, you know, I was on Methadone for 1.5 years, so you're gonna naturally still feel something. Had I not been taking this Kratom, you guys, like, I wouldn't have been sleeping, I would have been sweating, diarrhea, I would have had full-blown opiate symptoms. Honestly, for what it's worth, I really think Kratom is a great bridge from Methadone to Suboxone. I think it's a great tool. And when I get off Suboxone, I'm definitely gonna try bridging Kratom to get off my Suboxone. However, you guys, I'm not there yet. I'm on 16 milligrams. I actually just started tapering today, so I will make a video when I do that. But then, you guys, on day 7, when I finally said, okay, I ran out of Kratom, I'm done with Kratom, and I'm gonna make the switch to Suboxone. So it had been about 107 hours since I had done Suboxone, and I take my first 4 milligram strip. Now, when I took my first 4 milligram strip, I was kind of in Suboxone purgatory, which basically means like Suboxone was preventing me from feeling sick because take in mind, I was pretty sick by this point. I'd stopped using Kratom, I was off Methadone, so I was feeling pretty crappy that morning. And then I take the Suboxone. I took 4 milligrams. I felt all right, but it was I was in this in between where it was like I felt better, but I still felt cruddy. Day number 8, I take 8 milligrams in the morning. No Kratom, no Methadone, just Suboxone. I take 8 milligrams. Yet again, I'm still in this Suboxone purgatory. I'm just feeling pretty meh, you know? And later that night, you guys, I took another 8 milligrams. Big mistake. Big mistake. And I got thrown right into precipitated withdrawals. Now, I don't know whether it was the Kratom or the Methadone causing me these precipitated withdrawals, because every doctor said you get down to 30 milligrams or less, you stop for 96 hours, you're good. I had stopped for 107 hours. So I did basically an extra day. I don't know, you guys. I really don't know what it was, but when I took that second 8 milligram, I just instantly got like restless legs, and just like my body just got flush, it got hot, and it was just extremely uncomfortable, you guys. Basically after that, it started to get, I was going through kind of like these little minor precipitated withdrawals for like the next week, but then I'd say like after day 7, day 8, I started to feel pretty normal. So I'd say the Kratom definitely helped me bridge from Methadone to Suboxone, and like I said before, I think Kratom is a great drug to get off Methadone, to get off Suboxone. I personally don't think it is a good thing to do recreationally. I think it can get someone to kind of start dabbling into opiates, you guys, because there could be thousands of opiate addicts out there that haven't even touched a drug. But the minute they start Kratom, that gets their brain, oh wow, I really like this. And I truly, my opinion of Kratom, you guys, I think it is a slippery slope, especially for addicts. If you already have a prior history of addiction and you are clean, you're off Methadone, you're off Suboxone, I highly recommend you don't do it. Some people, I do hear that they use it and they kind of use it like a maintenance drug, like Suboxone or Methadone. I mean, if your plan is to just use it as a maintenance drug to take those cravings away, then I guess that's different. But if you're thinking about experimenting with Kratom and you're an opiate addict, I highly suggest against it. It just, for me, it's been a nightmare. It's only just opened doors and made my mind more curious about doing the drugs that I originally suffered from, you guys. So that's the video, you guys. I wanted to bring some educational awareness to Kratom and my experience. I am not a doctor, you guys. This is not medical advice. This is just my experience. My hope is to just spread more awareness and help people make better informed decisions based on my experience. And I think my experience has been pretty common. I think a lot of people have experienced the same thing I have. So that's that, you guys. If you guys liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. You guys, I got new merch out, hoodies, t-shirts, women's shirts, all that good stuff. Link will be in the description. I'm Luke from lukegtv, and I'm out. Peace.
What's up, you guys? It's Luke from lukegtv. We got that fire ass merch for your mind, for your soul. We got stickers, we got hoodies, we got tank tops for the ladies, we got everything. So come on now, get that merch, boy.